Chapter 719, Duan Jinghong vs Song Shin. Duan Jinghong expected Song Shin to enter the backstage, so the other girls in AOB left their makeup on to show their team spirit. They weren't going to let Duan Jinghong face Song Shin on her own. No, to be exact, they had waited a long time for this chance to tear Song Shin apart. Soon, there was a commotion outside the door to the waiting room. Obviously, the concert staff were blocking Song Shin from entering. The girls looked at each other. The group leader was the bravest of the lot, so she immediately stood up from her makeup desk, walked towards the door, and she said to the other girls, "Let me open the door." Duan Jinghong remained seated in front of the makeup desk, but, as soon as the door opened, Song Shin immediately threw a slap towards the group leader without checking who she was hitting. It seemed she thought the person that opened the door was Duan Jinghong. The group leader clicked her tongue in pity and grabbed Song Shin's wrist. Big celebrity Song is indeed different from everyone else. It seems she's a big shot with a big temper. "All of you get out. I have something to say to Duan Jinghong." Hearing Song Shin's tone, the girls couldn't help but laugh. "Who are you throwing orders at? Miss Song, we are aware that your grandfather is a government official, but sorry, not everyone is afraid of you. You, leader, you and the girls can wait outside for me a moment." Duan Jinghong was aware that if the other girls were around, Song Shin would continue to cause a commotion. She was disgusted by it, so she decided it was best to get it over and done with. That way, she wouldn't need to continue facing this sickening face. The group leader and the other girls looked at each other. After a few seconds of silence, they nodded their heads. "We will be just outside. If she gets violent again, just call out to us." "Okay." Duan Jinghong looked thankfully at the group leader, gesturing for her not to worry. Soon, the room was emptied out and only the two women remained. Duan Jinghong stayed seated at the makeup desk as Song Shin took a couple steps towards her and said, in ridicule, "I never imagined one trip to South Korea, and I'm suddenly not good enough for you. Following on, you will only be less worthy." Duan Jinghong laughed. "Why?" Duan Jinghong understood what Song Shin was trying to ask. She picked up a cotton swab and poured some makeup remover on it as she replied, "You're actually asking me why? What a joke. Song Shin, do you think of yourself as a princess that the world revolves around? Did you think that just because my family background isn't as good as yours, I'm destined to be your follower? You asked me why. Why don't you ask yourself what you've done to me? I risked myself to hurt Huo Jingjing for you. I risked myself to provoke Hua Wenfeng. I even snuck into President Mo's office to steal yours and Tang Ning's evaluation reports. But when I was slandered for being a thief, what was your first reaction? Do you remember how you looked when you threw your bank card at me? Yet, you have the audacity to ask me why." After hearing this, Song Shin wanted to argue back and retaliate against Duan Jinghong. So, that was exactly what she did. "I've been so good to you. I took good care of you during our university days. Who required your care? Who would want your care?" Duan Jinghong laughed even louder. "Although my family background isn't as good as yours, it is still better than the average person's. I simply wanted to prove my determination to be your friend, so I invested my heart and soul into helping you. It had nothing to do with the expensive products you gave me. Don't make your insincere charity sound so great. Haven't you made yourself feel superior enough in front of me? Since you know that my family background is better than yours, how dare you try to become an artist? What right do you have?" Song Shin ridiculed impatiently. "Did you really think that you have the ability to be more famous than me and to get more out of the industry than me? Of course I can do better than you and gain more than you, because Tang Ning is willing to support me during my most difficult time. Tang Ning gave me hope during my most helpless state. My enemy gave me a chance to start afresh. Yet, as a friend, You were more disgusting than old food. Quote, Tangning? Supporting you? Stop dreaming. She's simply using you to stabilize her position. It doesn't matter. At least I debuted in the end. Duan Jinghong spread her arms so Song Shin could take a good look at her. I currently have an immeasurable amount of resources in my hands. Hairui won't disregard me for no reason. They won't be cautious against me like they are cautious of you. Song Shin, I know how ruthless you are. I have plenty of your secrets in my hands. If I was to compete against you on my own, I may not have much of a chance. But now, don't forget, I have Tangning backing me up. I know you don't look highly upon me, but I will continue to improve. Meanwhile, you can remain planted in the same spot with your arrogance. Also, don't blame me for not warning you. Previously, when your grandfather hurt Tangning, President Mo did not give a response because he was considering Tangning's pregnancy. When he comes to his senses, you and your grandfather will definitely die a painful death. After hearing this, Song Shin's body began to tremble in anger. She wanted so badly to pounce forward and tear Duan Jinghong apart. Duan Jinghong looked at Song Shin throughout her mirror and let out a laugh. Don't even dream of laying a hand on me. What do you think are your chances of winning against me? Quote, I won't let you get away with this. So what if you don't? Your future is still not as promising as mine. Duan Jinghong was unaffected. It's best if you watch what you say and do. Otherwise, I wouldn't mind using the most ruthless methods on you. Hearing Song Shin's warning, Duan Jinghong looked into her mirror and threw a warning back at Song Shin. The hatred in her eyes burned. Tangning told me to pass on a message. Those that reap evil will bring destruction upon themselves. Song Shin sneered as she forced open the door to the room and stormed out. After seeing what happened, the other members from AOB whistled and cheered. Obviously, Duan Jinghong had won the battle this round. Seeing this, Xiao Yuhei marched into the room and said, I can't believe that even you betrayed her. She betrayed me first. Duan Jinghong replied, take your goddess song with you and leave. The other group members pushed him out of the room as if they didn't care if he was the heir of Kaihuing Theaters. It wasn't like they were actresses, so there was nothing to fear. Afterwards, Duan Jinghong relaxed and looked at her group leader. Only now have I realized how much I hate her. But I am still not the one that hates her the most. The girls patted Duan Jinghong on the shoulder in understanding. That's enough. You were already amazing. You did not disappoint our Ning. Chapter 720. A sparrow will always be a sparrow. On the way home, Song Shin couldn't contain her anger. So, she forced Xiao Yuhei to stop the car and ran out to destroy a section of flowers on the side of the road. Xiao Yuhei followed behind. Seeing her release her anger on the flowers, he walked over and stopped her. Don't be like this. Don't I have the right to release my anger? My manager and best friend debuted behind my back and her future is now more promising than mine. Can I vent a little? Song Shin turned around and hit Xiao Yuhei on the chest. I know that Tangning planned all this. She wants to see us turn on each other while she sits peacefully and enjoys the benefits. Yet, Duan Jinghong the bee decided to trust her. Quote, either way, Duan Jinghong has already debuted. Why can't you learn to accept it? How am I supposed to accept it? How am I supposed to accept that a shadow that's been following me since university would suddenly be more popular than I am? Song Shin cried. To prevent attracting attention, Xiao Yuhei showed his understanding and helped Song Shin back into the car before escorting her home. But, after Song Shin returned home, she continued to throw her anger around. In fact, she was rude to even Elder Song. What's wrong? Elder Song asked. Xiao Yuhei sighed and simply explained that Song Shin was in a bad mood. The old man nodded his head and waved his hand at Xiao Yuhei casually. I'm used to it. Don't make excuses for her. Both men understood Song Shin's temper. She would never allow anyone to make her suffer, because she never took others into consideration, nor did she ever tolerate others. So, how could she accept that Duan Jinghong had debuted? After spending a bit of time, Xiao Yuhei explained the entire incident to Elder Song in detail. So, after he heard what had happened, Elder Song sneered. I never expected Jinghong to be such an ambitious person. It seems I may need to teach her a lesson in the same way as Tangning. Xiao Yuhei did not respond. Elder Song had the ability to influence Tangning's film. But how was he to influence Duan Jinghong's album? Monsieur, the two women were in two completely different fields. Plus, those that helped Elder Song in the past did not appear willing to take another risk. She's really spread her wings. But, don't forget, a sparrow will always be a sparrow. Even if she changes her appearance, she will never be a phoenix. From Elder Song's words, Xiao Yuhei could tell that he would not let Duan Jinghong go. But the problem was, Duan Jinghong knew too many of Song Shin's secrets. If he was to make a move and push Duan Jinghong too far, the person to suffer would be Song Shin. Actually, Elder Song was still unaware of Song Shin's bad deeds. He was still under the assumption that his granddaughter was constantly being bullied in the industry. But he never considered, with Song Shin's temper, how that would be possible. However, Xiao Yuhei did not say a word. AOB's performance was a huge success. As a result, the girls managed to display their talents to the nation. After all, Hairui put in a considerable amount of effort to train the newcomers and did not hold back on using their resources. Hence, Duan Jinghong had a taste of fame and had even less reason to give up on everything to return to her previous lifestyle. Even if Song Shin sought her for revenge, she was going to fight back with all her life. Later that night, Duan Jinghong recalled the entire day to Tangning over the phone. Tangning had just put the twins to sleep. After listening to Duan Jinghong, she responded calmly, I'm aware that you performed really well today. Song Shin seemed really angered. I'm sure she will find a way to seek revenge. Don't worry. You are now an artist of Hairui's. Hairui will naturally protect you. Tangning remained calm. Monsieur, you don't need to do anything. Simply focus on your performance and that will already be the best attack on Song Shin. After all, she can't tolerate good things happening to you. Nor can she handle you surpassing her. What about you? Are you going to let her go like this? Duan Jinghong questioned. Now that Tangning was a mother, would she not be bothered to focus on this matter? Every time I look at my two babies, I think about how they almost couldn't come into this world. Tangning would always remember this grudge. But that has nothing to do with you. Simply do what I say and everything will be fine. Also, since you've decided to change for the better, don't have any sinister ideas. Even if you're dealing with Song Shin, don't use the dirty methods that you previously used. It wasn't easy for you to tear away from Song Shin's control. Don't repeat your previous mistakes. Otherwise, no one will be able to save you. Understood. Duan Jinghong would always remember this. I'm not stupid. I will never return to how I used to be. Don't worry. Compared to using ruthless methods and living in fear, I'd much rather my current lifestyle. Tangning wanted Duan Jinghong not to get involved because her existence was already enough to trigger and mock Song Shin. So, it wasn't necessary to waste her time on the enemy. Even if Duan Jinghong did nothing, as long as she was more popular than Song Shin, Song Shin would already suffer. A moment later, Tangning hung up the phone and turned to look at Mo Ting. At this moment, he was carefully picking up one of the babies and comforting it. Did I disturb him? It's fine. I'll just comfort him a little and he'll be fine, Mo Ting replied calmly. Although he had only been a father for a short period of time, he had already gained a lot of experience. Of course, as the boss of an international agency, it wasn't hard for him to grasp the temper of two babies. So, He quickly understood their tempers and sleeping habits, leaving Tingning with no choice but to be convinced by his abilities. Looking at the way that Mo Ting carried their child, Tingning wanted so badly to snuggle up close. The image was too perfect. In fact, she could already imagine the kids running around Mo Ting after they grew old enough to walk. The image would be even warmer then. Song Shin has already received her gift. It's time for the Song family to receive theirs. Be more gentle. After all, you're getting old and we don't know how many more dramas you can handle. Tingning said to Mo Ting as she gently rubbed the child's cheek. I know what I'm doing, Mo Ting said as he placed the baby into its cot and pulled Tingning into his arms. In a couple days, I will take the three of you home. Since there's a show to watch, it's more meaningful to watch it in person. I can't wait, Tingning answered seriously as she leaned against Mo Ting's chest. There were some things that she would let slip, but there were some people that she would never let go of, even if they were already in the grave. In the meantime, all she could do was wait to watch a good show. Hit the like, thumbs up button and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for listening.